it was empty. I felt like a lot of people ran to social media in my family to go talk about my father, and it hit me there's such a disconnection with people socially that they don't talk to you directly. They'll jump on social media before talking to you directly.
Some of the lowest points in my life, some of the darkest moments in my life have never been shown on social media. But if you look at my social media during the darkest moments in my life, you would think, wow, she's so happy, but I was not. I was definitely not happy. I didn't know how to reach happiness. I know I'm not the type of YouTuber that does a lot of talking, topic-y videos, but I hope that you guys appreciate this one, and even if just one person watches this video and enjoys it and benefits from it, I will feel this video is successful if even just one of you benefits from it, and that's why I'm doing it. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, let's get into it. I've been making a lot of changes in my life. I have adapted new values, I reassessed my thinking, I'm learning a lot of new things that I never considered making a value before and making it a part of my feminine morality. And because of my new learnings, I've reassessed my thinking and my ideas of what's right and wrong. And through that new thinking, I wanted to share a topic that is very significant to all of us, especially women. Why social media is fake and the downsides of being an influencer from an influencer. Coming at you right now. And in case you haven't noticed, I've also changed my name because so much has changed in my life. What I value today, who I am today has changed a lot, and I wanted a name that represents me today, a name that grows with me from here on out, not a name that I selected when I was 21 years old and didn't know what my YouTube channel would become. I had no idea. I didn't do it with the intention of it growing into what it grew into. And I didn't do it with the intention of making any income from it. So when I selected that name, I selected the name through my AOL screen name era, the era of screen names, versus using my real name. And that is what I wanted to do today. I want to use my real name, and I've been wanting to do that for a long time, for many years now. And it's been so hard because I wasn't able to get my real name on all platforms. I'm gonna change my name. I'm gonna change it to my real name, not another screen name. And finally I have. My name is officially Mrs. Alba Ramos. And I'm so proud of that. I'm so happy. And that is the name that I'm gonna live with forever because that's the name I'm committed to. And that is the name that will be my name forever, no matter what. I've been wanting to make a video on this topic for a long time. And I'm so glad that I didn't do this video a couple years ago because not that I would have given you bad information or wrong information, but I have better understanding of that information today. And the type of advice that I would give today is very different from one that I would give you a few years ago, where it would be way more biased and I would have too many feelings attached to the topic of social media because I wasn't ready to let go of some of my own battles and struggles with it. So if I would have spoken on it a couple of years ago, I would have acknowledged some things but left a lot of things out on purpose because I didn't want to put myself in the category of being wrong. You know what I'm saying? So to jump right in, here's some of the downsides to social media and why it's so fake. Comparing yourself to others. Specifically, comparing yourself to perfection. As an influencer myself and as a person on social media, especially Instagram, there's a lot of perfection promoted to us. So it's very easy for all of us as women to compare ourselves to the next girl who has the perfect body, the perfect skin, perfect hair, perfect background, perfect setting, perfect life, perfect husband, perfect dog. And all we see is how happy she looks in these photos and how perfect she looks. Comparison is a killer. It makes you see yourself in a light that you wouldn't have seen yourself if you didn't compare yourself to this person that you don't even know, that you're just seeing online. And that looks perfect, that looks like she has everything figured out, that looks like her life is just bomb all the time, but you don't actually know her life. You don't know anything about her life. All you're seeing is these happy looking perfect pictures, but it doesn't mean that the person's life is based on these happy looking perfect pictures, right? And that is something that's so easy for us to forget. And what's even sadder is that the young girls in our generation today are seeing these photos and assuming that what they see on social media is reality, that life is supposed to be happy like it is in these pictures all the time. And that is just a whole nother psychological battle that especially young girls who have not yet gone through enough experiences in life, who have not yet discovered what their values and morals are being influenced by all of this. And they think that life is supposed to be this way. They think that life is supposed to be perfect. And I say young girls to emphasize on how we're influencing young girls, teenage girls, but us women who are in our mid-20s, early 30s, mid-30s, whatever, we are going through this too. So I'm not excluding us in that age group. We're all going through it. I've gone through it myself, and I'm getting out of it little by little because I'm much more aware of it now, but I won't deny that it still happens sometimes. But I have to catch myself and I have to bring myself back to what I know. What I know is right. The truth is, we all have flaws. We all have things that we don't like about ourselves. You may be looking at me right now and you don't see my flaws, right? You're not looking at the things that I don't like about myself, but I have stretch marks. I don't like my weight. And I'm not necessarily showing you that all the time. I'm not putting it in your face. But trust me, there is beauty in that ugliness. There is beauty. When I say ugliness, not to say that these things are ugly. I'm saying there's beauty in darkness. That's what I mean by ugly. There is beauty in the negatives. There's beauty in being relatable. Do not compare yourselves. I know it's easier said than done, but I'm gonna say it again. Don't compare yourself to anyone. What you're seeing on social media is a highlight reel. It is happy moments, not a happy life. And better yet, a lot of these moments are created to portray happiness, but it doesn't mean that when these photos were taken, they were actually happy. Some of the lowest points in my life, some of the darkest moments in my life have never been shown on social media. But if you look at my social media during the darkest moments in my life, you would think, wow, she's so happy, but I was not. I was definitely not happy. I didn't know how to reach happiness, and I'm so happy to say that I'm finally learning how to be happy. And part of reaching happiness means learning how to be content, learning how to love yourself for who you truly are, not comparing yourselves to anyone else, understanding your own value, respecting yourself, and being grateful. That is the only way that you will get contentment. Being grateful for what God gave you, for the blessings that you have in your life, for the blessings that you see every day and no one else on social media sees. That is true contentment. Another downside is the desire to please everyone. It's not realistic to want to please everyone. In real life, we don't try to please every single person, right? It's impossible. But yet online, on social media, we're trying to please the world, which also leads to fake portrayals of your life because you are so focused on pleasing and pleasing and pleasing and likes and getting noticed and attention. You get hooked to the idea of being happy, but not truly making happiness happen for yourself in real life. And again, this makes young girls think that life is supposed to be happy, smiling all the time. That the ultimate life goal is to be happy, and it is not. I have only recently learned, now that I'm 33 years old, that life isn't about finding happiness or being happy. Life is about having purpose and finding your purpose. And I didn't always know that. And the beauty of that is that when you do find purpose in what you do in life, in your everyday life, it naturally makes you happy. So if you're trying to make yourself happy, you're more likely to not find happiness and be happy. But if you're trying to do something purposeful, something that brings meaning to your life, that gives you purpose, that ultimately brings you happiness. And posting a really nice picture on vacation with a bikini on social media, it may feel good in the moment, but it does not mean that your life is happy. That is just a dopamine hit. That is just a moment of attention. And then what that does is creates the pattern for you to now need another moment of attention, another dopamine hit, like an addict. An addict isn't happy by feeding their addiction. They feel a high because they just fed that addiction, but their life itself isn't happy. They're not fulfilled. They're not feeling like they have purpose. They're meeting their purpose, right? They feel so down and they search for that little glimpse of happiness in that small moment where they're feeding their addiction. And then that second that high is over, that high is over. You're no longer high. And that's the same thing that happens on social media. Did you know that social media was designed after casinos? The scrolling that we do on social media, that was designed after the casino methods. And it was specifically designed to make us addicted to that scrolling. And the people most affected by this are women and young girls. Influencer value continues to reach higher and higher. Companies value us, media, TV, they all value us now. Companies and brands know this, which is why they seek us out. It makes us valuable. But with that value comes great responsibility. And unfortunately, not all influencers have equal integrity for their work, for what they're doing, and the impact that they can have, the impact they do have for this job. We all see the power we have, but we don't all use the power we have to influence positively. Some of us influence negatively and don't even know it. Which is again why I say find your values, find your morals, find your faith, get some integrity, and be responsible. Another downside is focusing too much on likes, numbers, and views versus the quality of your content, the purpose of your content, and doing something because it's purposeful versus because you just want attention. And that is what likes and views and numbers are, right? It's for attention. And as women, I know a lot of people don't want to hear this, but we love attention. And it's something that you just have to be truthful with yourself. We women love attention. Like I said, if you have not yet established your values and morals, you are on a dangerous route, because when you're young and you don't know what your values and morals are, you have not yet developed this sense of morality of what's right and wrong, you're on a path now that can lead you into doing anything and everything just for those numbers and likes. So you may be doing a lot of wrong things that you shouldn't be doing because you think that reaching those numbers and reaching those likes is more important than maintaining your morals. And I have gone through that myself. I had to go through my social media a couple of years ago and start deleting a lot of pictures that I wasn't proud of, a lot of photos of myself that just portrayed me in a too seductive light, in a light that I shouldn't have been in a light that I wouldn't actually be doing in real life. I have a husband, I'm a mom, and it didn't make me feel proud to show myself in that light. So I've removed those pictures and stopped posting myself in that way. I don't want to give any sense of seductiveness or sexuality online, because I do value holding that for my husband. I do value that being something intimate that only my husband sees. And I didn't always value that. I had to learn that value. So that's another thing that I hope you guys relate to. I didn't necessarily find those morals until later in life. And for example, the attention thing, I posted a picture of myself that was meant to be a real moment of me just being honest online. And I happened to have a bathing suit in that picture. My mind battled with two different thoughts. A part of it was, yes, I want to be honest and truthful because I don't like my body. I don't feel comfortable in my body these days. I don't like my weight. I don't feel like I'm at my best. So I want to post it for this reason. But at the same time, I knew that posting it in a bikini, whether I liked how I looked or not, would get me attention. And it would bring me validation, because all I'm going to be hearing is like, oh no, you're beautiful. You look great. And there's going to be a lot of people that give me that validation, that attention, that internally I actually did want, and we have to be honest with ourselves on why we're posting these pictures. Did I post it because it was just a candid moment? No, I didn't. But the second I posted it, it's just so many likes that what that does to a girl's mind is like, wow, I got so many more likes just because I'm in a bikini. And when I'm posting myself in like regular clothes or talking about something super serious, I don't get as many likes. I don't get as much attention. It's a messed up world that we live in, but it doesn't mean that you have to give into that. It doesn't mean that you have to lose your morals and change yourself just to get that attention. Too many girls are posting themselves online almost naked. The amount of nudity has gotten insane, off the roof. And there are some girls that only post themselves in pictures that they're almost naked in. I personally see that as a cry for help. I personally see that as someone who is in dire need for attention. You may disagree. I don't care if you disagree. I have experienced it so much in my life. It's just gotten worse and worse. If you've never posted a picture of yourself in a bikini before, I promise you the second you do, I'm not telling you to do it, but the second you do, you will see the most amount of likes you've ever seen before. And of course, that makes you want to strive for more of that attention. It makes you feel like this feels good. This is such a great feeling that I want more of it. Where I'm at now is, even if I do take bikini pictures in real life, I don't want to post them unless there's a purpose to me posting it. There has to be a reason behind it that makes sense, but I don't want to just post bikini pictures just because of content, just because of likes, just because of attention. What's most important to me today is that I am getting that attention from the people that matter, the people that are in my life, like my husband. If I'm not striving for attention elsewhere on social media from other people, he gives me way more attention than I ever received before. And it's because men see that their attention is now becoming valuable. The man that you're with, the man that you're committed to, the man that you're in a relationship with or married with will see that his attention is more valuable than anything else. And there is power in that. There's a lot of power in that, and a lot of women have not realized that. And it's something that I have realized and I so value so much, and it feels great. It feels amazing. Another downside is following too many people. Sometimes you follow so many people that you lose track of the people that you actually care to see their post. The algorithm on YouTube and Instagram has changed so much in these past, I want to say 4 or 5 years, where all of us OGs have lost a lot of views in our content, not because we're not making content anymore, not because our content has changed. I actually think my content has gotten better, in my own opinion. I love my content way more today than I do the old ones. But I have less views. And I had to go through a moment of reassessing why that was and not feeling down on myself for it and not feeling like the views validate my quality and who I am, because it doesn't. And I had to go through a moment of looking at that very closely and very clearly. One of the reasons why we are getting less views today, even YouTubers like Bethany Moda, who has nearly 10 million subscribers, gets way less views than she used to and than she should for the amount of subscribers she has. It's happening to everyone, not just her, including myself. And one of those reasons, there's a lot of them, but one of those reasons is when you go into the YouTube homepage, it's no longer your subscribers. It's just trendy videos. It's giving you content that they think you want to watch, that they think you want to see, content that is similar to what you've interacted with or that you've watched before. And a long time ago, many years ago, when you would go on youtube.com, the main page, it would go onto your subscribers. So you would see what your subscribers, the people you're subscribed to, are posting versus what YouTube wants you to see. I wish they would change that. I really would, because I too would be watching the people that I am subscribed to versus just random videos of people that have like nice looking thumbnails and things that they think I want to see, and then that's all I'm being placed in front of, and you have to go out of your way to press an extra button for you to see your subscriptions. Most of us are not pressing our subscriptions. That's one of the reasons why we're all getting less views. And when you follow so many people, it's really hard to narrow down who you're going to unfollow, and no one really wants to unfollow a bunch of people. It's really hard to do that. I've been trying to do that myself. Lately, every time I go onto my Instagram, I start unfollowing just a bunch of people that I don't want to see their posts anymore, not anything personal. It's just too much. I don't want to follow 500 people, and right now I'm following 500 people on Instagram. I want to narrow that down to 100 people that I actually know, that I've bonded with, that I've met before, and I don't want to unfollow those people. But it's really hard to unfollow that many people. So I've been doing it slowly, little by little, based on the content that I see, and I'm getting there. Because I really don't see the value in it. I don't want to spend a lot of time on Instagram. I've been spending a lot less time. I've been spending a lot less time watching and more time thinking about how I can serve my purpose to create purposeful, meaningful, beneficial content for you guys versus just watching people and scrolling on Instagram, which is so easy and addictive. And honestly, it just wastes so much time. You think that you're gonna be on Instagram for like 10 minutes, and next time you look up, it's like 3 hours later. That is so not good. So not good. I hate the feeling of looking up from my phone and seeing that so much time has gone by and I haven't accomplished enough of the things that I said I would throughout my day. It just makes you so less productive. It's really not healthy. And I feel so much better about myself to save this special time at the end of the day where I can put my kids to sleep knowing that I did so many things with them throughout the day. I did what I was supposed to do. I cooked, I cleaned, I felt organized, I did something that I wanted to do that day. And then my husband and I can sit back, enjoy our time together, talk about our day, and feel accomplished. And we can watch a movie and just spend time with one another without having to feel like we didn't do what we were supposed to do earlier that day. It's honestly the best feeling in the world. Another downside, don't tell people you meet for the first time what you do for a living. As an influencer, I can tell you that that is not a good idea. Like I said, a lot of people like attention. So most women love attention and love to be put in a spotlight. Even if they don't want to be in the spotlight right away, they want to be highlighted in some way. So it's been my experience where if I were to tell someone from the beginning what I do that I just met, it sparks something inside of them that's like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And then you don't know if they're being as kind and nice and friendly with you because they just found that out about you, or because they genuinely like you. And if you do that right away, you will never fully realize if they're genuinely liking you or they're seeking something from you. And some people don't even know themselves that that's what they're doing. Am I really being super extra friendly and kind to this girl because of how popular and cool she seems to me and because I want some of that too? Or because I genuinely connect with her, because I genuinely like her, because we relate in so many ways that I want to be her friend. Let me tell you a little story. And I'm not going to go into too many details of the story because this person does exist in real life. And I don't want to put anyone's information out there, and I don't want to be too specific on who I'm speaking of. I had a neighbor once who at the beginning was kind of nice and, you know, normal, friendly. Not mean in any way, but not going over the top either. Months later, this person found out who I am online. And then all of a sudden, next time we see each other, something switched where it's over the top, like very noticeable. We should do this. And oh my gosh, I can't believe this. And they're bringing up certain topics that they never brought up before. And it's like, okay, in my mind, it's like something happened here. Something is different. Within like 3 minutes of that conversation, they finally let it out and say, you know what? This person told me that they saw you online and oh my gosh, you have so many followers. How did you get so many followers? I didn't know that you do this. It becomes this whole thing, and then you want to call me, you want to be my friend now, but a couple of months ago, you weren't really going this hard on being my friend. All of that are like red flags for me, and I appreciate when someone doesn't know what I do at all and they are just as kind and friendly and want to get to know me and want my number and want to talk to me about my life and, you know, just get to know each other and possibly become friends without knowing what I do or what my social media is or how many followers I have, right? It just makes sense. That is another downside. It's really hard to make real friends when you're an influencer. It's really hard to have true friendship because you don't know who your friends are when you're meeting people as an influencer. Which is why I have a very small circle, like probably the smallest circle ever. There's very few influencers that I know that I actually consider friends, that I can call at this moment and just talk to, even though I haven't spoken to them in a really long time. I can do that with some people, but I wouldn't feel comfortable doing it with everyone that I know that's on my phone list. And then I also have real friends that know me in real life before I was an influencer and are still in my life. And that's something that I value very, very much. To be honest, women and teens are the ones that are most at risk because we can easily change our rules of life based on what is acceptable online. What is okay to do online now becomes a part of our line that we're crossing, and the line keeps crossing, the line keeps changing. The line that we will cross will continue to change, and what we thought that we would never do a few years ago is now so acceptable to do now. There's a lot of toxic behaviors and toxic advice that's being given by women, especially online. If you don't have strong morals, strong values, what your faith is, what you believe in, if you don't have that, you will easily be triggered to change how you see yourself and what you do publicly. Because the comments you get, because of the way that you see other people doing things have influenced their life and their outcome and their numbers. That popularity and attention is so magnetic that you will lose yourself in it if you don't have your strong faith, your belief system intact, or at least trying to search for that and trying to develop your morals and values. And I'm able to catch on to it today, but trust me, I was exposed to all of that before, and I thought it was just so cool and okay just because it was being said in a video that looked so nice, like TikTok. TikTok is giving so many BS toxic advice, and a lot of people don't really sit and think about this advice that's being given. I'm gonna make a separate video with my husband on a message that someone wrote to me not long ago after I've changed my name online on all of my accounts. And I guess this person was triggered by the reason that I changed my name, and it they didn't like it. So I will talk about that later, and I will talk about what that looked like. And this person was giving me advice, and I want to share with you that advice in a future video coming soon. The point is, more mistakes can happen in your young life, which is why I'm so glad that I did not have Instagram when I was a teen, because if I did, all of these mistakes that I made when I was a teen would have been way worse and so public. And it would have been so hard for me to recover from that. I know I sound like just an old person here, but trust me, this will change your life. This is what truly brings you happiness. This is what truly brings you that purpose that we all seek. Of course, there's also some great things that are beneficial about social media and being a YouTuber like I am. The flexibility of this job, the idea that I can make my own hours, that I can set my own rules, that I can select when to work and when not to work is amazing. And it has allowed me to be present in my home, be present, more present in my kids' life, and be with them or not be with them at my own time. It's also very slippery because even though we do have that flexibility, what we do with that flexibility is up to us. And because it's so easy to fall into that negative route, into doing the more unproductive things with our time and with our power, like I've explained in this video, just because you have that flexibility doesn't mean that you're automatically a good mom or you're automatically a good wife just because you have more time than those who work a 9 to 5. In some cases, I think people who have a 9 to 5, a regular 9 to 5 job, value their time with their kids sometimes more, because since they're not with their kids from 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 or 9 to 8, the time that they are with their child is fully spent on that child. So there's good and bad to it. I am very grateful. I am very blessed to be in this platform, to have the opportunity to make income and still be at home with my kids like I am right now, making this video. And then after this, we're gonna go have dinner. We're gonna have dessert actually. And yesterday I was all day at home, not making a video, not really working. And I was able to do that because I chose to. That is an awesome feeling and I'm very grateful for it. But I also wanted to highlight the downsides because those are the ones that are the most at risk. And I think that too much of the upsides are being promoted. Today, everyone wants to be an influencer, but yet not everyone is being responsible with that power. So these downsides need to be highlighted. I want to share a little piece with you guys from the male's perspective. So we're going to bring this camera onto my beautiful hubby and we're going to get his opinion from a man because I'm sure he's going to drop some bombs on you guys too. So let's see what he has to say. All right. Why don't you like social media and why did you delete your social media a couple years ago?
Okay, why? So I deleted social media in 2018. Before deleting it, the only reason I told myself I can have social media is if I was going to do something productive with it. So what I was doing was I was putting everything that I was learning on autism on the internet. And
you had it for a very short time too.
Yeah, and that's what I was promoting fatherhood, because where I come from, a lot of people, I wouldn't say they're ashamed to be fathers. It wasn't promoted as being cool. So what I wanted to show was, be proud to be a father. And I had, I was 24 when we had little Manny, and I was modeling and work. A lot of people would try to get me to hide the fact that I was a father. I wasn't acting like a father. I was a young idiot. So there's a lot there. But when I made Instagram, it was like, okay, cool. I'm just going to promote fatherhood, and I'm going to put out everything that I'm learning with autism, with raising children, healthy children, and all that stuff. I deleted my account in 2018. This is probably the week that I lost my father, because it was empty. I felt like a lot of people ran to social media in my family to go talk about my father, and it hit me there's such a disconnection with people socially that they don't talk to you directly. They'll jump on social media before talking to you directly. And to me, that made no sense. It was like, I don't know, I just needed to go into my cave. So I deleted my account, and I've been in my cave ever since.
Can you also say why you don't like social media for women in particular? Young girls included, young teens, all of that included.
Flashback, if you go to our gender reveal, the second I found out we were having a daughter, a girl, I knew when we conceived my daughter, I knew we were having a girl. Why? I have three sisters. I'm frightened to have a daughter. In the world that we live in today, the way I was raised, you protect your sisters. You protect the women in your life. You put everything on the line. And man, oh man, have I been stressed out from doing that in my life. Right then and there, I'm like, okay, cool. I understand women to a certain extent, but now I have to understand them completely. Like, I don't have a choice now. How can I say this? I'm talking from the perspective of a father. My daughter will not have social media ever in her life. Does that mean I'm gonna force her? No, I'm not gonna force her. I'm going to teach her the rights and wrongs, the ins and outs of all of it, and the effects that it has on people, men, women, whatever the case may be. Now, if you're talking about dating, looking for a spouse, go talk to people. There's a Wi-Fi between us, a Bluetooth that we cannot see, connection that we cannot see. And if you don't believe me, a good example is when women come together and their menstrual cycles sync, right? There's a Wi-Fi that our hormones, there's pheromones, right? There's a lot of things that come into play when we are next to each other. When you're meeting a mate, a partner, or whatever the case may be, you need to be next to someone in order to sense certain things. The more you stay away from people, the less you're going to be able to use that sense that you have. And that goes along with anything, even if you're not dating, even if you're just trying to find a friend or something. Texting is the most disconnected way to communicate. Emotions get lost. How many times do you text somebody and misunderstand something that they're saying because there's no emotion involved? Talking to them in person is a whole nother ballgame, obviously, but it's not so obvious because I have to say this now. Everybody's on social media and they're disconnected. Whether people talk through social media in a way that they wouldn't talk to somebody in person. Whether you're commenting, saying you want to offend somebody, you won't do that in person.
Yeah.
And it's for a good reason. It's because you care, right? You have a heart. So I understand there's pros to being on social media, but I think you're gonna have to find some type of balance. It has a huge negative effect on men too. Men are destroyed by social media. If you look into like dopamine, which is a neurotransmitter, you look at the effects that it has. You start to put two and two together and say, "Whoa, hold up! What's happening to me? Is this by design?" You're gonna have to figure it out. It's an addiction though. It's definitely an addiction.
Yeah.
You're talking about attention. Attention is a freaking drug.
Yes,
and
that's exactly what I said.
Social media is getting pushed left and right. You're getting hooked out there. So for women, my advice: hey, if you can practice some type of discipline and say, "Hey, I'm only going to go on social media for this," do it. If you can't, at least acknowledge that you can't. This way you acknowledge this is an issue, and it's controlling me, right? I have control over it. At least you can do that. If you're going to deny it and just say, "Hey, I don't have an issue here," or whatever, maybe you don't. Maybe you just go on it 15 minutes a day. Maybe you're just on it for entertainment. But you're going to watch your life pass by. And you're going to start wondering, why is it that I procrastinate? Why is it that I don't like where my life is heading? Social media could be one of those things. It doesn't mean it is, but it could be. And if you remove social media I was an influencer, right? Like, she's telling you this, like, catch on to it. And if you notice, even you, babe, I'm pretty sure you said this already, but you're on it way less than ever, right?
Yeah.
And how has your life been since?
Yeah, I said it, so much better, and I'm still making realizations, but I wish I would have realized this much earlier on. It would have helped me so much, but I'm glad that I'm, focusing on that now, learning more about it, and having more control.
And how's our marriage since?
So much. I said that as well. So much better. So much. I value our time that we do have so much more. And I value being able to get attention from him because he sees that I'm not trying to get it anywhere else. What happens when you see that your woman is valuing the attention elsewhere, whether that may be social media, whether that may be other men, versus putting the attention that she gets from you higher?
If a guy watches porn, right? It's really easy to criticize him, right? Like, ew, you watch porn now, yucky, right? I'm not defending it. For some reason, I've never been into it. But what happens is it messes up, it alters the guy's perception on how sex should be. He becomes numb to certain things, right? Because of porn, right? Now, the things that would normally turn him on don't turn him on anymore because he saw something crazier on porn, right? Now, if we're talking about attention in a marriage, I can't compete with the type of the feeling that you get when somebody on social media is giving you a like or 1,000 likes or whatever for something. I can't compete, no matter how many times they say, babe, I like your hair. Babe, your curls are on fleek, right? No matter how many times I do that, I can't compete with that feeling. So you become numb to my compliments. My compliments mean nothing. And we actually went through this before, where you came to me and you were like, hey, you don't compliment me, or you said something, right? And I'm like, wait, what? Me? Of all people, me?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I do this every day, and I was able to tell you every day what time, when I said.
I wasn't even realizing it.
Yeah, and but it's social media. You get lost in it. There's nothing. It's not like the most important part is to acknowledge it.
Yeah.
That's it. If you can acknowledge that it's an issue, then you from there can at least differentiate when you have a problem in your life and what's the cause of it. Is it social media? Is it the problem itself? Could it be finances? Could it be this? Whatever the case may be. But if you put social media as one of those options, maybe in your relationship, then you're able to say, cool, it's not my spouse, it's social media. Maybe I need to step away from social media, and then maybe my relationship will get better. Maybe then I'll be able to get to sleep on time, wake up earlier, get to the gym, I'll be more productive, and your life will change off of that. But if there's 3 things I could tell you to look at in regards to social media, one is dopamine. Learn about dopamine, your neurotransmitter. 2, self-sabotage is huge. It's gigantic. I tell Alba this all the time. Like a lot of you guys compliment her and you tell her she's beautiful and all that stuff. And I'm like, man, you guys have I know you guys mean well, but you have no clue how beautiful she actually is, because you only see this, or you only see who she shows you. You don't see who she really is. You don't see what's on the inside. It's not like she's hiding stuff from you, but you don't see the outtakes. You don't see
There's no way for them to really see my real life.
Yeah.
And what I do on a daily basis, who I am.
Yeah, and that's what makes her beautiful. It's not what you see, and that's the same thing with yourself. If you're on social media, your value doesn't lie in your likes and your subscribers and all that stuff. Your value lies within you, and it's internal beauty. It's if you know you're doing something wrong in your life, you're not gonna ever feel beautiful. If you overcome these things and then start applying better things in your day-to-day when nobody's looking, that's not on social media, it's the opposite. When nobody's looking, doing the hard work, you're gonna love yourself more, and it'll show everywhere you go, whether that's social media or whatever, whether you have 5 subscribers or not even on social media at all. Your value would show, and that's where everybody, I think, should work. Go in your cave.
Yeah. Thank you very much for sharing your input.
Next, I'm going to be showing you my OnlyFans account.
Reputation is down the trash.
Imagine all that, and then they catch me on OnlyFans after all that.
Thanks so much for watching. Adios. Bye, sunshines.